What up, y'all? All right, I'm leaving physical therapy for my knee because once you get over 40, your body begins to just say, I'm gonna do what I want to do. So I'm doing that. I'm heading home and we're gonna head into the studio. Get out the wind. Oh, heading to the studio. And I did something that I have not done before, and I'm pleasantly surprised by the results. So let's head on home, get in the studio, and let's talk about it. Let's go.
McCray Music.
Hey, how are you guys doing? I'm doing well. I pray that you are doing well also. Okay, so clearly I'm back in the studio. You understand that? This is the studio. I have been working on an EP called Sacrifice. I have done several vlogs already showing you some of the process of that. I paused that the end of last year to work on the Lament project that the Lord dropped on me, which we released in January. Go check that out if you are not familiar with that. But now we are back at it. We are in full swing with finishing up this EP. And different songs are in different spaces. Some I'm in the mix process already. Some I still have some vocals to record. Some I'm still have some vocals to record, and I'm still doing a little bit of production. So we're kind of all over the place with that. But this particular song that I'm working on right now, I'm in the mix process of it. I was in the finalizing of production part of it and into the mix process. And there were some things production-wise that I recognized that I wanted to get some other musicianship involved in, right? One of them was with the percussions. I just could not get the percussions to sit the way I wanted them to. It just sounded corny. And I'm sure you've run into that as a producer, where it's like stuff that you can do, but on a particular song, like what you're doing is just not giving you what you want. And usually when it's not giving you what you want, you start adding more stuff and it's just ridiculously complicated. So I had like three different shakers going. I had all kinds of stuff and it just was corny. It just was not giving me, I don't say it was corny. It just wasn't giving me what I heard in my head, right? You know, you hear it when you hear it and it just wasn't giving it to me. So I said, you know what? I think maybe I want to consider looking for a percussionist who this is what they do, that can kind of, take over that and do that for me. I also heard a saxophone solo. I did program some horns, but I heard a saxophone solo, which I've never had on any of my songs, by the way. I've done some saxophone stuff, but I've never had like a saxophone player do anything on a song. So I'm like, I kind of hear that at the end of this song. So I wanted that. And then I also wanted to play around with the idea of a guitar player kind of doing some things there as well, all right? And so, I know some amazing musicians, but I said, you know what? I'm gonna go in a different direction, and I'm gonna see if I can find some musicians on Fiverr. Because I didn't know strictly a percussionist that had a full setup. I didn't know a saxophone player. I do know several guitar players, but I didn't have the percussion or the saxophone covered. So I said, let's just go see what we can find. I've used Fiverr before for other stuff, for some graphic design and things like that, but never for musicianship. So I was interested to see, first of all, what kind of quality of musicianship I could find on Fiverr. And secondly, what the cost would be, because pricing can become kind of iffy sometimes, especially if you don't have relationships with people and, you want to make sure that you're getting, I don't mind paying, but it needs to be quality, And so I was able to find, I went on there and started looking. And first of all, to my surprise, there's some really good musicians out there on Fiverr. So I was surprised at the level of musicianship and presentation that I found. I was also pleasantly surprised at some of the pricing. It was actually way less than I thought that it would be. And, I was like, okay. So that was interesting to see as well. And so I got some tracks back and, it really blew me away. Like, it was really good. Now, to be honest with you, my goal was to do a reaction video where I put up a camera and recorded myself hearing the stuff back for the first time. And to be honest with you, I didn't want to. I didn't want to. I had to set stuff up, and I didn't want to do it. I'm sorry. I was excited. I wanted to hear the stuff back, so I just hit play. I've already mixed the song. The song is actually done, right? But I want to show you. I'm gonna take you over into the mix and show you what I got back for the percussion, the guitar, and the saxophone. And then while I'm there, I think I also want to manipulate something with the saxophone a little bit. Not the saxophone, the guitar a little bit. There's one thing in the mix I do want to tweak a little bit just on the guitar. So we'll do that. And then I'll come back over here and we'll talk about just some tips of some things to consider if you are going to look for musicians on Fiverr. What are some things to look out for? What are some benefits? What are some drawbacks? You know, what should you consider when you're doing that? So let's jump over to Luna and let's see what we've got. All right, so here we are inside the Luna. Let's start with the percussion. I'm gonna go to a section of the song where the percussion really is kind of doing some work, which would really be the second chorus is doing some stuff in there. And let's see what we've got. Let's go into our mix view here. And we are going to just solo some percussion. All right, so here's what I had the guy do. He gave me some chimes. He gave me like a finger cymbal. He gave me a shaker. He gave me a bongo. I do have a synth bongo in here that I liked. I liked what I did on the synth bongo later in the song better, so I kept that for that part of the song. But he gave me a bongo here, and he gave me a clave, whatever that is. I like it, all right? And let's just hear what that is doing right here in the mix. It was exactly what I needed. And like I said, I had a bunch of, if you saw what I had going on in here, it was a bunch of other stuff. Like this one shaker is doing what I had like literally 2 or 3 different shakers to give me the fullness of it. And so that's one of the benefits sometimes of working with other musicians is they'll give you simplicity, but they'll do it in their craft and it'll be exactly what you want, right? So this is. And you can tell it's actual playing, right? It's not really quantized. It's natural, which is what I wanted. If I mute all of those, let's just see what the drums are sounding like without those in there. Oh, he gave me a tambourine too. I forgot he gave me that too. So I kept my snap, right? And I kept just a hat that I had at that part of the song. If we just listen to the whole instrumental, I'm going to mute the vocals for now. So this is what the whole instrumental sounds like without the percussion, and I'll add them in and you'll hear what it's doing. All right, let's add in the percussions. And this is what we got. I mean, exactly what it needed right there. That is great. All right. Now, hey, Sweets.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
5 minutes later.
Got you. All right. Well, I'm recording the video, so let me get as much of this done as I can before you get here. Just call me when you cross 46.
Okay.
All right, baby.
Bye.
Bye. Vlogging does not stop the process of being a husband. You are always a husband. All right, so back to this. All right, so this is giving me exactly what it is that I wanted. All right, so that's fantastic. Now, you probably also heard some guitar in there. Let's just solo and see what that guitar is doing. And I wrestled with if I wanted the guitar because I actually felt that it sounded pretty full. I have like this pluck tar thing happening. . So, and it's really warm and it's actually pretty full. And I'd actually just about mixed the song. I hadn't sent out for the guitar yet, but I thought, I said, I still want to hear the guitar kind of coming in and just in certain spots. So this is what I got back, and I'm going to put links in the description for all the musicians here that I used. You can check them out. I'm not going to mention the pricing because, it could be custom. So, I never want to step on people's toes when it comes to that, right? So, check them out if you're interested. Look at the packages they have, and we'll talk about kind of how to deal with that in a little bit. But this is what, not the guitar room, this is what they sent me for this part of the song. I mean, I think out of all of them, I was probably the most blown away by the guitar, I gave the most kind of audible reaction to the guitar. I was surprised. And again, I know some amazing guitar players, and I'm used to having guitar players in the studio and kind of walking them through. I was just blown away by the musicianship. There was really only one probably one chord that I had to have him change. I think that's it. Maybe two, but I think there's just one that I maybe had to have him change, which is working with guitar players for me is always interesting because I play keys. I don't play guitar, and I'm not classically or trained. So some of my chord voicings and stuff can be a little different than what people would expect. And so sometimes I run into difficulty translating what I did on the keys to a guitar player. And so for him to basically listen through the whole thing, I didn't send a chord chart or anything, listen through the whole thing and only have to change like one chord, like amazing. So this is what that sounds like, of course, in the mix. Now, while we're here, the one adjustment I want to make with the guitar is I want the guitars to I just want it to bite through just a little bit more. And so what I think I'm going to do, I don't want to reamp it because I like the amp that he used. So I'm just going to try the Native Instrument Supercharger compressor here. I tend to like the energy and the dirt and punch this can add. And if this doesn't work, then I'm going to try the Devil Lock. But let's just see if we can just add a little bit of bite to the guitar with this. I think that's kind of giving me what I want. I just want a little bit more bite on it. I'm gonna bring the vocals in. And let's just make sure that that's working with the vocal. There's only lead vocal on this part. I need to lay it down. Yeah, that's giving me what I want. Let's, just for comparison, let's try the Devil Lock and just see if that gives me something different. I need to lay it down. Some finding out. Every time you listen to me, I lose. I choose to follow you. No, I need to lay it down. I kind of like what the Devil-Lock is doing a little bit better because the superchargers give me that bite, but it's also compressing really hard to get it. So I think I'm gonna go with the Devil-Lock here. I need to lay it down. Some finding out. Every time, listen to me, I lose. I choose to follow you. No more. See, I don't know that I want it on the solo guitar because I asked him to do a track with just the chords and then a track where he's ad-libbing. I don't think I want it on the ad-lib one. I also think I want to just bring the highs up just a little bit on that. I need to lay it down. Some finding out every time. Yeah, I think that's it. Now, I'm probably going to have to go through the whole song because I have automation, of course. So I'm probably going to have to go through the whole mix again and just make sure that that's not bring it out too much anywhere. But I think that's what I want. All right, so that's the guitar. And then the saxophone. Now, the saxophone comes in right at the end of the bridge here. Let's just hear it as it comes in the mix. Yeah. Let's go to a part of the song where the saxophone is in a little bit more, and let's solo that. I could not synthesize that. Now, I could have done something, and I got some good horn patches, but it would not have had that level of expression and musicianship. Amazing. So this is giving me, it gave me exactly what I want. I was blown away by the saxophone as well. It just fantastic. So let's talk about some things to consider if you want to work with a Fiverr musician. All right, so some do's and don'ts and just some things to consider, pros and cons, just things that come to mind from this experience. All right. The first thing that you want to do if you're looking for a Fiverr musician, right, is put in what it is that you want. Like I specifically wanted, for example, for the guitar, I wanted somebody who could do some R&B or soulful style of guitar, right? I didn't want to just pick a guitar player and all they do is rock and they send me a bunch of distorted stuff that does not fit for the song, right? So be as descriptive as you can when you're searching for what you're searching for. Favorite, like I have a whole favorites folder where I favorited several different musicians that I found across all of them, the percussion and the saxophone as well. Favorite. Go through and listen to the quality of the output, right? Don't just listen to the musicianship, listen to the quality of the output of what they have, right? Because any musician is going to have a portfolio of different things. And I'll be honest, there are some musicians that I moved on from right away, not because they didn't have the chops necessarily, but it didn't sound good, right? Just the audio quality, okay? Because one of the things here is, you're not coming to my studio to record, or I'm not meeting you at a studio to record. These are people all around the world, wherever they are. So I need to know, and you need to know, that they have a quality recording setup or a quality studio that they work out of, and that they have the know-how to give you a quality recording, or else you'll get back something that's good musicianship but garbage quality, and you do not want that. All right, so definitely don't just look for musicianship, look for quality, okay? In regards to pricing, once you've found the musician that you want to work with, on Fiverr, they allow you to do different packages, right? And so musicians will have different packages. Well, if you want for example, 1 track of guitars is this price. If you want 2 tracks, it's this price. If you want unlimited, it's this price. They might do it based on the amount of time, all those kind of things. Do not go and just pay for a package right away. Don't do that. Message them privately. Message them privately and let them know what you want. And there's 2 reasons why you want to do this. 1, you want to make sure that they are actually interested in doing it. Secondly, you want to make sure that you are paying for what you actually need, okay? Because sometimes it might not be clear what, which package fits what it is that you want. So send them a custom message, send them a snippet of the song or a full version of the song that you want them to work on. Let them know what it is that you want, and then they will either tell you, okay, you can choose this package A, B, or C, or most of the time what they'll do is just create a custom offer for you, and that way you'll know right off the bat that, okay, this is what I'm paying for, this is what I'm getting, right? So you'll be clear on that, okay? The third thing that I would say is make sure that you give, so you've already picked the musician, you've paid for it, because you got to pay for these things up front. Make sure that you give ample instructions on the requirements of what you're looking for. If you need to do a walkthrough through the song, record yourself walking through the song and saying what you want at certain parts. Make sure that you do that so that you can be sure that you are going to get back what you want. And also, I would suggest that you have them do multiple takes, because the drawback to this is you're not in the studio with them or over Zoom or something with them. I tend to like to do that when I'm producing something. I tend to like to be there, because then I can produce the musician or produce the singer and say, try it this way, or let's do another take, but do it this way, right? And so, give them as much instruction as you can, and then ask them to do multiple takes. Most musicians will, it's common for them to do at least 2 to 3 takes, all right? Meaning of good stuff, like not like takes with mess ups, but like complete takes of whatever they're doing. This way, you as a producer have the ability to, on your end, move stuff around, change things, combine stuff. That's what I did with the guitar. That's what I also did with the saxophone. I did that to some degree with the percussion, but more so just removing something I didn't want in the particular part. But with like the takes from the saxophone, all those things he did in the mix is not where it was when he sent it to me. I moved some stuff around, changed some things. I don't really like this. Ooh, this might sound better over there, right? And I did a similar thing with the guitar as well. So you want to get multiple takes so that you have enough stuff to work with as the producer, all right? And then go for it, right? So there are quality musicians out there on Fiverr that you can work with. Again, the links to the musicians that I worked with here for this song are in the description. Go ahead and check them out. They're really cool. They take instruction very well. They turn stuff around very quickly. I don't think any of them was longer than like a 2 or 3 day turnaround, and the only reason why one was a 3 day is because he had something to come up where he had to it took a little longer than he expected. But quick turnaround, good guys to work with. Definitely check them out. And I'm gonna be back soon, because we got some other stuff to do on this sacrifice project. And my wife, who you saw me talking to earlier, she just might make an appearance on here as well. And just might, as in absolutely definitely will, because I'm featuring her on one of the songs. So you're going to see her and get to meet her probably in the next vlog or 2. All right. So I hope that all this has been helpful to you and it's sparking your creativity. I'm going to see you in the next video. Please feel free to like this video and feel free to share and leave comments. And I'll see you guys again soon.